Hey Links family, I hope you've had a great start to 2025. Here at Links, we have been so grateful for people's support in prayer and resourcing, particularly for our Links Africa Hub Impact Appeal that we finished at the end of the year. It's so exciting to see what we're going to be able to do with that resourcing that's come in, not just for our hub and our centre, our new centre that's been live now for a year in Kenya, but also for all our partners across the continent. We had the amazing privilege of bringing them together in December, blessing, doing training together, leadership, praying together, seeing the vision for the next year and beyond, and just being thankful for what God is doing in all the different partnerships that we have in Malawi, Uganda, Kenya and Zambia. This year, as we go forward, we are thankful for the community that we're in right now. We had a great meeting just a few weeks ago with community members coming together and saying, what are we going to do together to bring people out of poverty, to stretch the transformation that's happening in people's lives in that small community in Kenya. So thank you. Just want to start by saying thank you again. As you support Links, you're supporting our partners across the world. When I was thinking about what to share for this week, for this month of March, one of the things that has been on our hearts as we start this year in the region of Africa for our hub there is last year we were talking about transition year as we started off, and this year we felt that there was a sense of consistency. The word consistency come through, and in the language in Kiswahili we use the translation tena tena, which means again and again. And when I was reading Timothy this week, Paul is encouraging Timothy in such a way to say again and again, go back, practice, get immersed in these things again, of your faith and your practice. When we see someone, they're an encourager, that person, or they're a generous person, it's not just because often they were generous on that day, but they have been in a practice of doing it. They have been an encourager, even when it's hard to encourage. They have practiced that thing. Paul uses the example of training. If you look at Timothy 4, it's like he's saying, train yourself in godliness, and then he turns the thing to say, for physical training has some value. So he's sort of saying that actually we can see this progress and this training that comes by little practicing again and again, tenor and a tenor. And the interesting thing with training and strength training is actually the muscle breaks again a little bit. It is hard to start with, and that's why we get that soreness when we start to do any exercise or activity. But we see the progress later. We see a delayed, we see a waiting for that reward that we are doing that training for. And it's interesting, he goes on and he uses different words throughout this chapter. The other one, he says devote yourself. So train yourself, then it says devote yourself, Timothy. Then it says practice these things, practice these matters, give yourself wholly to them, or immerse yourself. Another translation, the ESV, immerse yourself in this. So the encouragement I feel that God is giving me, but also our partners in Africa, is to go back to that vision. Go back to that encouragement that you heard. Go back to that fruit of the Spirit that God is encouraging you to do, to walk in love, to walk in joy, to walk in peace, and practice and devote yourself, immerse yourself in those things. Maybe there's a vision that God is calling you to pick up again this year and to walk in step by step, little steps. God's not looking always for the leaps. He's looking for those little first steps that we can be encouraged and to take. He knows our weaknesses. He knows our frailty. He knows that when we are training, he's also just looking for that first aspect of faith. One of the things that I read quite a few books from Craig Rochelle, and one of the things he always comes across when he's encouraging leaders, but I think it's encouraging people, he says successful people do consistently what others do non-consistently or not often. And there's this element of when we are becoming who God has called us to be, when we're stepping out in faith in these little steps, these day-by-day notions of grace and serving, of giving of ourselves, not just of our money, but of our time to people around us. We are setting ourselves up for a behavior that is of Christ, that is of the new creation that He is calling us into. So as we start to do this in our new hub, and as we keep going forward with the consistent things we feel we're called to grow out into the community, but also grow ourselves as a team, I just want to encourage you, wherever you are, wherever you're listening, whatever church, whatever community you're a part of, what can you be doing? What can you be immersing yourself in that is going to be growing the kingdom? It's going to be growing you as a person. Pick it up again. Go for it again. Whether it's visiting people that you haven't visited before, whether it's dealing with situations that you need to deal with again, and just saying, okay, God, give me the grace to start again. I'm so encouraged physically. Another example is when we want to run. If we miss a week or 2 weeks, yes, it's a bit hard to get back into it, but we soon pick up that pace again that maybe we lost through injury or just time out. We can gain it back, and I think there's a spiritual element to that as well. God is also saying, come on, let's start again, let's go again and again. So God bless you, encourage you this week to say, I'm going to do that again. Tena is the Kiswahili word, whatever place and that means for you, whatever language that hits home for you. What can you start to do consistently again? What can we start to do consistently together again for the kingdom and for growth? I just want to encourage with that last little bit. It says, be diligent in these matters. Give yourself wholly to them, so that everyone will see your progress. Not so that we just see how big we are, but we go, how great is God? Look what God is doing, what God has given us the grace to continue to do.